getting hit multiple times coming out of that bike section. More drivers coming to blows.
Portland International Raceway is the venue for round 4 of the Formula Ford Weekend Warriors here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. My name is Josh Wilkie, and I am joined by Charles Boshell, hopefully in a little bit, and Guido Marzucchi on production. It's going to be a pretty awesome round here at Portland today. Not many of the drivers have actually been around this track many times, including us up here in the booth. Don't really know a whole bunch about actual race experience around Portland here, but I think the drivers are going to find out today. It's looking like a pretty fast, pretty draft heavy racetrack. Going to be a lot about decision making today. Jake R. Williams holding our pole position so far, 12 minutes in to this qualifying session here, just joining our drivers now. And you know, we had a bit of a talk on the run up here. There are only 2 layouts of Portland International Raceway. This one being the no chicane layout is definitely going to provide us with 2 fairly long straightaways to get some passing done here today, Guido. So I don't know, what's your prediction? I think it's going to be a bit of a decision maker out there. There's going to be lots of opportunity for passing, and it's going to be an easy one to go backwards if you don't get that right.
Oh yeah, it will be a draft race. Also in these cars that are not so heavy drafting like the Formula V's or the SRF. but this track, which is relatively new on the service on iRacing, I think it will provide some interesting stuff. Because it's not too technical. We can see also in the timing tower on the left that the quali times are pretty much really tight with 15 drivers within 1 second from the whole position. So it will be a tight race. They will have to think carefully about their moves. I don't think anybody will break away unless there is something happening. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you raised there, Guido, that it is going to be very difficult actually to break away today because of that draft. And, you know, we're seeing even here in qualifying some side-by-side, just some racers here jockeying for position. This is an open qualifying, of course, so you're out there trying to find free air, and it's not always the easiest thing to do. You can be on a flyer doing a really good lap. Somebody can crash in front of you or maybe slow down and kind of plug your lap a little bit. We're also racing, of course, today with 3 different classes out there we can see on our timing tower. The red being our S1 class, the green being our S2 class, and the yellow being our master. So those are our over 60 drivers. You're noticing there Antonio Reese up now into the top 8, actually, just as I speak. Doesn't necessarily make them any slower. We're noticing you know, a lot of these really technical tracks, especially, we see the Masters drivers doing a little bit better than maybe today on these just flat out power tracks here. As we're on board now with Jake R. Williams, you can see just behind him, they're not exactly sure, the number 10. Let's see, who is the number 10? That's Mario Rass, just behind Jake R. Williams here. And he's, you know, he's going to be benefiting from this draft here. So we'll see if maybe he can't get a bit of a draft down this back straight, and that's going to help him get a better lap. That's what you're hunting out there for during these open qualifying sessions, to see if you can't get, you know, maybe a little bit of help from your competitors. JR is now going to pull out to the side, not allow him to get that draft down this back straightaway and get that advantage. And of course, that's going to be something that you do as well. The number 13 benefiting a little bit from some draft here as well. And we're going to be seeing a lot of that today. A lot of drivers weaving around behind each other, looking for that draft. Trying to keep the momentum up, I think, is going to be a really big deal today. Momentum is going to be your friend, and it's not going to be easy out there to get those passes done and not get caught by a group of cars that is assuredly going to be behind you today.
Oh, yes, of course. And I wanted to go on board for an on-board lap with Andrew Love, but he just pulled into the pits. As usual, they always disrupt my
going to the
my plans. Kane Lasky also pulled to the side of the track while we're 4 minutes out of the to the end of the qualifying. And let's see if Edgar Frito Sancinelli will...
Frito.
Yeah, let's go on board with him for a full lap of Portland.
Yeah, so we're heading into T1 here. This is right where that chicane would usually be. We're going to be flying by it here just now on the right-hand side. Boom, we're flying by it right now. So we're going to be missing that one today, going straight through here and drafting into what they call Porsche Hill. So this would usually be 4, 5, and 6 through here. Bit of an interesting complex, you know, one of those sort of counterintuitive areas as well. You can see he's not quite getting to apex there. I am not a professional around here, so we're going to just go on Ed Sancinelli's lap here and say that he's got a good one. That looked pretty clean through there. See, he could have missed potentially a couple apexes through that first section. And you're going to come here into this massive power section. This is going to be a very, very important spot to get the power down correctly. And you can see at Sancinelli there scrambling to get that power down perhaps a little bit early and out of orientation there. So he's not going to make it down this, what I would call the not so straight. He's going to pull in here, see if we can't find ourselves a little place to have a picnic perhaps, because that lap is definitely over now. But that would have been the end of the lap there. And we were talking before, quickly there, Guido, just that long straightaway. And I think that final complex and that final corner are going to be probably the most important corner on the track.
Yeah, that was the usual onboard lap jinx. Nobody will end an onboard lap while we focus on them. Let's see if Daniel Varone will be able to complete his.
See if we can finish it for us here. Yeah. So we're going to go through that Porsche Hill section here again, Guido.
Well, this is the slowest part of this track, which is very fast, very flowy, and also very wide. The track is very wide. They usually run here with IndyCars, which are obviously different power, different speed than the Formula 4s. So the track is suited for them, and for the Formula 4s. It will be interesting because pretty much every corner you can go 2 wide or even 3 wide if you if you have the right guts. I'd say. Yeah, small mistake, kiss to the tire barrier there. And but he completed the lap. He completed the lap. So
he got it done. Yeah.
Yeah. While we go to the toward the end of this quali session. Let's have a look to the championship points.
Yeah.
So
let's have a look
bring
through
them up
these here quickly.
I will bring them up.
We'll start with S1 here with Aeronom, I believe. 295 points going to take us into first place in S1. Still fairly close, but actually Aeronom leading by quite a few points here now in the S1. Still everything to play for there in the top 3. It is only round 4, so we do have a lot more time. We got Jason Chin just behind that, Jake R. Williams, then Jackson Morley in 4th, Kane Lasky in 5th. We'll let you have a look at the rest of those results in S1. Moving on to S2, we have Paul Jackson up on the top there with 184 points. Just behind him, Jimmy Latbacher with 175. Raphael Boley will have 119 behind that, and then 118, Steven Adams, and then Marcel Grosjean is going to have 71. Very close stuff there in the S2 category. And then Masters, Antonio Reese, 231, Alan Degassis, 205, David B. Lehman, 183, Jeff Wubker, 182, and then Jorg Manny, who's actually out today. We're just talking to him in the chat here. Sounds like his load cell gave up on him after he's saying about 5 years of use. So, you get 5 years out of a load cell. Not bad. Probably get 10 out of her usually, but I would imagine Jorg Manny, he's pretty good on the brakes, and he likes to use his rig quite a bit. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see him today. But that is our points across the board. Pretty close there in Masters, as well as we're just finishing up qualifying now. Probably getting a little bit of sighting in here for the Ducati driver of Kane Lasky. Just in front of him, I believe that is Jake R. Williams, maybe in front of him. But we are just finishing up qualifying now, and Jake R. Williams is going to be on the lead.
Aeronom ahead of Kane and Jake Williams.
Oh, it is
right behind, yeah.
Right, the 76. Yeah, correct. Thank you for that. So that's the 78 of Aeronom, actually. And Jake R. Williams is going to take the pole on round 4 here at Portland. Kane Lasky just behind him, and then Mikey Pollard in 3rd. Don't think anybody else is out there ready to pip a lap in quite yet, so I think that Antonio Reese just coming across the line there. You bring up a good point, just how wide this track is around here, and when I see that, basically you need to have restraint in those situations, because you're going to be able to pass everywhere. You're going to be able to go too wide everywhere, but as we know, going too wide isn't fast, and it's also dangerous. The percentage of you catching a wheel or ending up off track goes up quite considerably when you are side by side like that. Just having a look at actually the drag strip there. Pretty cool venue here that you actually have all of these things kind of wrapped into one when you come down to Portland Raceway to have this. It looks like a pretty nice venue. Never been there myself, but would love to check it out someday. It looks like a pretty beautiful track.
Oh yeah. Looks like a beautiful track, and also by the technical standpoint, it is spot on. As I said, this is one of the most recent tracks brought to the service by iRacing, and we can see that. We raced at Summit Point yesterday, which is one of the oldest scans on the service.
True, yeah.
And this one is really different. You can see graphically.
The grass looks very flat at Summit Point. It looks like a painting.
It's way better. This one is way better for the eyes. But we have the grid ready. We will have a short pace lap, so let's go with it.
We'll get into it. Right on. So Jake R. Williams will be leading our pack from Wales in the pole position. In the 59 car is Jake R. Williams. Kane Lasky will be in 2nd place today. Mikey Pollard in 3rd. Aeronom 4th. 5th is Oliver Gard. Leonardo Panero in 6th place. In 7th, we have Jackson Morley. In 8th, we have Daniel Case. In 9th, our first Masters driver of Antonio Reese, and our first S2 driver of Jimmy Latbacher in P10.
And then Mario Russ, David Lehman, and Jeff Wubker, which is the sponsors for today's race. So thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
Daniel Varon, Jörg Mani, which set a quality time, but he won't be part of the race, as he just wrote on the YouTube chat. Paul Jackson, P16, which will be P15. Frito Sancinelli, Michael McDonnell, and Andrew Love to close the grid. And we are ready to start the formation lap here in Portland.
Yeah, and it is going to be a short one, like you said there. Unfortunately, Jörg Mani not taking the grid due to some hardware failure at home. And we do have to thank Jeff Wubker for our sponsorship, of course. This is our final round sponsored for this season so far, so we are looking for more sponsorship. If you're willing or able to sponsor a round, of course, we love to keep the lights on here at SMB. We love putting these on and adding this layer of fun and realism to the hobby that we all love here. So if anybody out there like to sponsor, you can get a hold of us here at SMB, or you can get a hold of Stevie Ray at Ray Esports. Reach out to either one of us there and we can help you out. But here we go. We are going to get a start at Portland. J.Car Williams will be leading this pack. It is up to him, of course, to start. He can start whenever he'd like here, or he can wait for the lights, and it looks like he is so far waiting for those lights. He's going to keep that pack, and there he goes. So he jumps. A good start for J.Car Williams. He's going to get a decent jump on the pack here and on Kane Lasky into this very important T1 long rip. A very long rip here for all these drivers into T1. Going to give them a lot of chance here in the back of the pack to try to sort out maybe where they want to be. And there's you get Kane Lasky is getting a little bit of a little bit on the inside. It looks like perhaps we have somebody in the wall already. Unfortunately, there. I thought it was Andrew Love for a moment by the paint job, but I don't think that it was. Things are looking pretty clean here so far into the first couple corners here, Guido.
Oh yeah, unfortunately Oliver Gard, which is a newcomer, it's the first time I see his name here in the Formula Fords, and Leandro Pinheiro crashed into the main straight right at the race start, so the race will be compromised. We will see if they will decide to continue the race after the pit stop, or if they will just call it a day for this race. But other than that, the first lap went quite smooth. Everybody's perfectly in line. They're settling up for the moment.
Yeah, looks like pretty line astern here. Just, of course, as we say that, the 73 pulling out and having a look at J.Car Williams here for the lead. He's going to let that one happen, and that's kind of exactly what you need to do around here as well. If you fought that too hard, if Jake, tried to fight that too hard, he would immediately have 5 cars around him and be 3 wide. So you want to make sure, sometimes you just need to facilitate those passes, and that's what it's going to be like around here today till the final minutes of the race. If you have some racecraft, you're going to want to be out there not fighting too hard quite yet. You want to keep in this pack. You want to stay up close. You just basically want to kind of run to that pit stop, make sure that you can execute that pit stop correctly, and then after that we can start racing. See our gains on the side, the left-hand side of our screen there. Mikey Pollard up 2 positions, Jake down 1, Kane Lasky down 1. Our highest gainers here so far, Ed Sancinelli and Michael McConnell back in 13th and 14th place. So pretty cool to see that. A little bit of movement, lots of up there, not too many down. So that's going to be, of course, because of a couple people out right away. Oliver Gard and Leonardo Patero. Unfortunately, I believe, Guido, those are our 2 brand new drivers. And they're both going to be out on lap 1. So that is pretty unfortunate. Hopefully they will show up again here. It's not easy starting in a new league every once in a while, getting used to everybody, getting to know everyone, how everybody's going to race and so on. Of course, on this new track, too, that I don't think a lot of drivers have any experience on. But a pretty good fight there mid-pack by the Labatt's car. I believe that may have been, exactly sure who that was there, but definitely a pretty good fight happening there for a moment. It looks, Guido, like everybody is fairly happy to kind of stay where they are at the moment, and I have a feeling that's going to be the way it is. There is a lot of real estate out there to play with. It doesn't look like too many people are taking that advantage of that quite yet.
Yeah, there's also a strategic element here. Unlike the Formula V's race, where there are no pit stop, so no fuel strategy. So you want to stay up top as much as you can. You don't have to worry about fuel saving or anything like that. Here, In the first part of the race, you don't mind being behind someone, saving some fuel and shortening your pit stop, which usually is between the 10th and the 30th minute in this 40 minutes race. So I think Jake Williams is happy to be where it is, and also the cars behind there. As long as you're in the lead pack, you're okay with that. And yeah, I don't think they want to be up top. The Leandro Pinheiro is the back marker right in front of this front group. He's not a newcomer. He raced this season already a few races. But they both decided, Pinheiro and Gard, to continue the race, so they are both on track. And I think that
that's great, and I'm glad to see them out there.
Just joined. I think Charles.
Hey, look at that! His internet's back. What do you know? Yeah, so I love to see the number 4 of Pinheiro back now in the race. It's great to see them continue on, doing a great job of staying out of the way as well. Of course, he has every right to continue being on track here, and as long as he's out of the way and not messing up too much driving out there as well. It looks like he's doing a great job of that. So good to see him still out there, as well as Oliver Gard as well. Kane Lasky now looking up the inside of J.Car. Williams and Mikey Pollard, going to take them both into T1 here. So again, using that momentum, using that speed to continue moving forward, and that's exactly what you want to do around here. Kane Lasky, always a thinker in the car. He's a good strategist out there. I've spoken to him quite a few times in detail, even about racecraft and just preparing yourself for a race. And that's a driver out there who's prepared himself, most of the time. I believe the last race he did there, he said he had no practice at all, and he just jumped out there and did it. But a consummate racer, and always prepared for any race, I would say. But as we were seeing there, lots and lots of drafting out here, Charles, and it's going to be a big draft race, I think, so far. Me and Guido have been talking about really wide. But so far, we're seeing pretty much line astern, and everybody keeping that momentum up. Everybody's really playing ball out there.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, this.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh, welcome back,
Go
Charles.
ahead.
I wanted to point out one thing about the Weekend Warriors League. The reason why Kane made the move to get up front is that there are bonus points for the championship. There is 1 bonus point for leading at least 1 lap, and 3 bonus points if you lead if you led the most laps during the race.
Oh, look at that!
So
yeah, those add up, don't they?
Yeah, by the end of the season, those adds up. So it's you have to balance saving fuel and being up front. So the winner takes 100 points. So 1 or 3 points doesn't look that much, but usually by the end of the season, everything sums up, and the gaps are so small that you want those points. Charles, welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. We'll let Charles go here.
I will leave
enjoy it. It's the easiest money I can make. I'll sit here and talk. And
I will leave the mic to you from now on.
All right, thanks, Guido. Yeah, thanks to Spectrum for deciding they're going to screw up my internet right before the broadcast. So that was great. Thanks very much. I'll probably lose internet for the rest of my life now. But this, I was looking at this on the calendar, and I like the change to the layout here with the, we're missing that little chicane there at normally would be turns 1 and 2. But we get the really long front straight, and it's a very wide open track. There's very few really tight corners that you have to deal with, but there's enough change of direction here that it's going to make it a very interesting race, and the momentum is definitely going to be one of those you're going to want to try to keep that in line, keep the momentum up, and good job by Kane to get out front, lead laps. It can kind of dictate the pace here as we start off. We got a nice little 10-car group up here at the front of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be back and forth like this, I think, through most of this race. And again, it's going to be a big decision maker. It's so wide around here, as we keep saying, and the draft is so strong. And this track really isn't that difficult. It's not that technical. And when that happens, the speed goes up. Everybody gets really close together. The times get close together, as we watch 76 of Aero Nom here up the inside. He's going to take 3 cars at once here. Just you can see almost 3 cars. Nope, it looks like he is going to get Kane Lasky on that one. Unfortunately, I can't see these replays. They are sketching out on my system for some reason. But we are looking at Andrew Love.
Yeah, just carrying a little too much speed into the corner and runs a little wide. Does a little grass mowing there and able to rejoin safely. So no harm, no foul from Andrew. Just lost himself a little bit of time.
Yeah, easy to do around here for sure. Go a little bit deeply in our Panero here. Going off track as well, doing his best to stay out of the way in that perfectly liveried car, by the way. Looks like a Converse All-Star, I think. It just kind of matches the car perfectly. Pretty funny stuff there. Looks like it's getting a little bit froggy out there. You know, this is when it's difficult as a driver to sit back there and you want to race. You know, you want to get out there and you want to pass. You feel like you're getting this draft. Maybe I'm faster than everybody and you want to make that pass, but you know, it's so risky and it's maybe not the time to do it quite yet. Like Guido's saying, you want to kind of stay in this pack and just sort of let things happen. You want to keep that momentum going. You want to try to make the pass if you have it, but you've got to get it done clean. You can't be fighting for apex or, man, things can just break out into absolute chaos if you don't get it right. As the 92 here is going to make a late move on the number 2 of, I believe that's Daniel Case in the number 2 car there with the nice 46 livery. I believe that's Valentino Rossi. Pretty cool stuff there. So the 92 getting one done. Pretty smooth move there. A bit late, but kept the momentum up, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, it was a little bit late, but it was still early enough that he was able to complete the pass cleanly, and that is what you want to do. You do not want to be battling through corners. That just invites all kind of trouble. It's going to check the entire train up, and you're going to have people trying to seize advantage where there might not be one. So you want to try and get those passes done and closed off before you get into the corners there, as that was the 92 of Jackson Morley there, as he's looking at the back of Jake Williams now, trying to look forward to see if there's a potential there, as we have Aero Nom into the pits and a couple other cars going with him. Wow, a big group of cars jumped in at the 10-minute mark of this race. Nom, Lasky, Pollard, Williams, and Case all wanting to do the undercut there. I see Edgar Santinelli coming in as well. So looks like the undercut strategy is what a few of the drivers are going to try and go for today.
Yeah, you wonder sometimes. You start to see that happening behind you from the 92. He's starting to make moves. Things start to look, and you just want to get out sometimes. You don't want to be around anybody who might be slowing you down. Not to say that's what the 92 is doing. He's clearly got pace today, clearly moving forward. But at times, you know, sometimes it just freaks you out a little bit. You see passes happening, see something happening behind you, and if you can kind of relieve that pressure and jump into the pit, it can really help out. Although I don't think, the first driver that jumped in was expecting 4 more to pile in right behind him this early in the race. So that strategy might be slightly out the window here a little bit. And I'm going to be interested to see, usually, Charles, it's not this early that you can pit. You won't even be able to. So there's definitely going to be maybe some fuel saving out there today. I mean, you usually can't pit till at least the 20-minute mark, 20-minute mark. So this is going to be a bit of an interesting one. Clearly, they know something we don't today.
Yeah, definitely a strategy call. And I think Aero was just absolutely decided he was going to come in. I think a couple of the guys behind made a very, very last-minute decision that said, "Oh, that's a good idea. Let me follow that guy in, and I'll just trail behind him." And they were, I saw some very late cut across the median there, so to speak, between the racing line and pit entry. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you've got Aero's got some help, or some help, you call it help, buddies there with him that's on the same strategy. So now they're going to be setting some sort of pace, if it's going to be fuel saving or not. Normally at that early, I would agree that's probably, people are probably thinking we're going to probably fuel safe, but you just never know. This track may be, other than that long straightaway, there's enough of lifting and moving around through corners that it just kind of makes it a little bit easier to do some fuel saving during the course of this race. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we've got several minutes left before others come in. Well, I say that. David Lehman, Mario Ross now coming in as well. So that leaves Morley, Lickbacker, and Reese up there, your top three, along with Daniel Verone, about 4 seconds back. So the 10-car group is now 3 cars up at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely, I think some fuel saving going on. Just looking up in the chat here, and well, I believe it is username Freak saying, kind of need to fuel save in this economy. That's pretty funny stuff there. And yeah, he's also saying, you know, wow, all the top drivers pitting at the same time probably did break draft. And I think that's probably the deal, right? You're trying to get a little bit out of that giant pack of cars, see if you can break it up, maybe release a little bit of pressure off of you, and that would probably be the thinking behind that one. And I think you're right. You know, I would really, Charles, you raise a good point there as we're watching Jake R. Williams just right up the chuff of Mikey Pollard there in front of him, getting a little bit dangerous. He's actually got a bit of a nick on his on the nose of his car, but I think everything's gonna be okay. Just on board with him now. Nice shot, having a look through the nose of Jake R. Williams here, now in 10th, but of course, once it shakes out here, being about 2nd place with Mikey Pollard in front of him. Perhaps Aeronom here actually leading at the moment, actually, but getting some pretty good onboards here. I'd like to, again, see if I can get back to that point there. He went in so quickly, Charles. I wonder if some of those drivers behind him had their pit stuff set up correctly that early in the race. I know sometimes I don't. I wasn't expecting to pit right then, so they may have been making some pretty quick changes to their fuel as they came in right there. And I would keep an eye on one of these guys for perhaps a Thompson Trophy or running out of fuel by the end of the race, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think just based on what I'm looking at here, that most everybody looks like a standard fuel stop. I think Kane Lasky's may have been like an extra lap of fuel. So he lost a little bit of time there, but still, well within, as you see, and setting the fastest lap of the race on top of that. So he's still in good stead there as far as his position, obviously a little bit further back than the top two where he was when they came in. However, so it looks like everybody's okay on fuel. Based on what I'm seeing, I could be wrong. But if it's the case that these guys short fuel, then you've got about 3 or 4 potential candidates for that Thompson Trophy today, taking just a little bit less than everybody else. So that's one of those that we really don't know until close to the end of the race. So that's something we have to keep an eye on as we go. And maybe the fuel saving and running inside the middle of the pack is going to help these guys out as far as that goes. With now Littbacker taking over P1 over Jackson Morley. Did see Antonio Reese come in and make his stop, so he is dropped back down in the field, and he is about 4.5 seconds off of Kane Lasky. So he's got a little bit of work to do. He's going to hope those guys up front decide they want to stop. They want to start swapping positions and slowing themselves down to give Antonio and others, David Lehman as well, a chance to make up some of that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Here as we're watching now, Jimmy Lapback up front here. Oh, it's going to get a little wiggle. I believe that was Aaron Nom. Gave him a little tip there in the rear, so getting a little bit froggy out there as we speak here. Been pretty line astern so far, but we are nearing almost halfway through this race now, so I think you probably still want to keep things pretty copacetic for the next little bit here, but that was a pretty close one. That's all it takes. Sometimes is a little tap in these cars, and you can easily be out as we're watching. I believe that was Jimmy Lapback. I'm pulling into the pit. The 92 now crossing the line of Jackson Morley. And I believe we're hearing from our producer here that Lapback is going to get a black flag. And that's probably on pit entry. I would imagine he missed either A, he came in over the hard line, or B, maybe oversped a little bit into the pit. And unfortunately, that is a big penalty. Yeah. And that'll take you right out of it, man. Oh, that'll be almost a lap around here as we're just going to watch Lapback and now heading into the pit here. We haven't really seen this pit entry so far. He clipped something there. It must be speeding. And it must have just been by a hair, too, because that looked pretty clean. So unfortunate for Lapback. It's so easy to happen, and unfortunate for the 311 there.
Yeah, and for those who are just joining, haven't seen a lot of this race, and these cars do not have pit speed limiters, so it is up to you to manage your speed on pit entry. And I think we get one of these every race. It's just so difficult to get that right consistently as you come in, and so we've got another victim to the pit speeding on pit entry. And we're on board here with Daniel Case, and this is kind of this is still the still the front group that is in the middle of the pack that have already pitted, and this is Daniel Case, who looks like he's sitting in a virtual third position there behind Pollard and Williams, as we still have 5 cars up in front of the field that have yet to take their pit stop.
Yeah, we're just seeing those leaders up front there yet to pit. Don't think that's going to work out for them, as we're seeing here. They're probably going to get jumped. It really depends. Sometimes you can get out there and you can kind of get the draft going or get some free air and make it work, but I believe these drivers up front so fast. We were actually trying to draft. I think he was trying to actually bump draft him right there. He gave him a little bump. I saw a tiny wiggle from the 73, so it's going to take a lot of practice and confidence and respect, I guess, for your drivers around you to allow a bump draft in these cars, because it can go haywire real fast. Not something you generally want to do, but yeah, we're looking at those top 5 now. Jackson Worley, Daniel Veron, Michael McConnell, Paul Jackson, and Andrew Love still yet to pit, and it doesn't look like they're going to this time either, so they're going to stay out there. He's liking leading this race for the time being here. We'll see if that works out for the 92. Not sure it's gonna at this point, is it, Charles?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he's about 7 to 8 tenths slower per lap than this group that contains Pollard, Williams, Case, Nauman, Lasky. So he's losing time. He can't tell it, but it's definitely there. And so when he comes in, he's going to be probably 3 or 4 seconds behind these guys, unless he does something dramatic with the fuel stop or just has a perfect pin entry and exit. He's going to be well off this group, and it's going to be very difficult. He may be down there around the Antonio Reese area that's currently in P11, but in virtual P6. So it's going to be very difficult for Morley here to make that ground up if that's the case. So we'll see. Obviously, if these guys start fighting amongst themselves, that helps everybody else around them pick up time. So we'll see if he's able to pick his pace up, or if this is just a matter of not having any drafting help, and that's just costing him time.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a look at Mario Rass now, getting it wrong through, I believe that was Porsche Hill, perhaps, getting a little bit sideways through there, out into the grass, going to lose a little bit of time. That's never going to help. And then he's going to get another snap after that. That is, kind of the way it goes in these cars in iRacing. If you get off the road, it does seem to kind of just chill your tires up, and you try to get on the gas too early right away. You got to be real careful for like the next 3 or 4 corners there, and you kind of bed them back in again. But yeah, here we are back up front again. Looks like they're probably going to stay pretty copacetic like this, I would think, until the wee hours at the end, and that's kind of what you want to do. We got a few packs kind of driving there. You can see on our timing tower those numbers in orange from 7th down to about 12th place, and that's going to be our closest rivals on the track at the moment. Mike Pollard, Daniel Case, Aeronam, Kane Lasky, Antonio Reese there kind of in the middle. He's, I believe, a lapper out there still, and then you have David Lehman. Jackson Morley leading, so he is going to get that extra point up there for sure. Daniel Veron just behind him. Yeah, it's pretty line astern here so far. Not a whole lot of racing going on at Portland at the moment. Just a bit of a track day now, trying to get that strategy right, trying not to maybe, over-intimidate your competitor. This isn't when you want to force somebody into a mistake, potentially, because it could drive you backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not want to don't want to give yourself an opportunity to lose time, as Ross just really trying to hang on to that car and just carry as much speed as he can through these corners. And you can see just too much at that point. He's overheated those rears, and they just said, no, I can't do this anymore, dude. We're going to have to slow down just a little bit. And you see the response from the car, and he's sideways and has to rejoin. But obviously you could tell he was really, really pushing it with the amount of slip that car had going through those first couple of corners.
Oh, Daniel Case with the save. What a save from the number 2 of Daniel Case, the SRG driver. Usually I believe he's out there with the SS Sim Racers group, so he's definitely got some chops behind the wheel. And he's going to get, I believe that was a bit of a test on a pass there. He's about to get passed. He's making a pass happen here. He is drafting the 73. He's going to kind of get maybe the orientation of getting into this corner just a little bit wrong. He kind of got squeezed by the 59 there, I think is what happened. Kind of put him off his actual line. He's going to go full lock and save that one. It looks so dramatic from above the car, and then you get in the car, and it it's so quick. It happens so fast. It almost looks like nothing. It's just a little catch and bam, you're back on it. But, you know, from up here in the booth when you're looking at it live, man, oh man, that looked like a pretty dramatic event. And he's going to hold on to that one and actually retain that position for now as well. So not too bad. I think he only lost one there.
Yeah, only lost one spot and did a great job, as you said, just catching the car. I think he was trying to run this. I think he was trying to run the same speed that the driver on the outside, the 70. I'm sorry, the 59 of Jake Williams was trying to run the outside line and just carry. You could just carry more speed out there, and I think that he tried it and it just didn't work. And he was able to catch the car before he spun it or anybody made contact from behind. So. A great bit of driving there, but yeah, just trying to push the edge of the envelope with these Formula Fords, and just went a little bit beyond it and had to reel it back in. As we see Morley now taking his pit stop, so he is in the pits to get that done. Don't know if he was seeing that the cars behind were starting to gain loads and loads of time. So we're going to see where he slots back in after his stop and see what his stop time is compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's still clicking down 23 seconds, 24 seconds. They are coming around now to the pit lane. He should be getting released fairly soon here. Still in the pit, 30 seconds. He's definitely going to get jumped here, isn't he, Charles? He's not going to have that momentum, even if he started right now, and that one's not going to work out for him. He's going to fly by right there, lose a bunch of time. So that wasn't a great stop either. We're hearing from Guido as well here. Perhaps actually we could get those stationary pit times up if we can. 49 seconds for Morley. Now listen, I don't know exactly what the pit time is around here, but I can tell you 49 ain't gonna be fast. So J.K. Williams with a 30-second pit stop in the front. That's looking a little bit scary out there, I think, for J.K. Williams, perhaps. And then you know, I think our average is around 42, 43-ish, right? 42 and a half or something like that. So 49 seconds at any pit stop anywhere that I can think of is gonna be a slow one.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so we're hearing from our producer as well here that the actual stopped time is around the same, but the actual overall pit time is quite a bit longer. So that's going to be on entry and exit. He probably just didn't do quite as much practice maybe, or perhaps just got it wrong.
I think, you know what? I'm actually going to give him a benefit of that. I think it may be a little software glitch, to be fair, because it looked like it looked like fair. It was going to be about a 14-second stop, and the stop time stopped and then started back up. So I'm not really sure. Oh, gotcha. Not really sure what's going on, but yeah,
maybe he missed his box. Maybe.
I mean, it's possible. I don't think so. I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Okay. So. I couldn't tell, but it looked like he completed about the same stop. But yeah, he's 6 seconds slower than the rest of the group, so that's obviously not gonna help him as he slots back in P12, and he's about 8 seconds behind David Lehman and Antonio Reese, and those guys are another 5 seconds behind the lead group. With still 4 cars out there yet to pit, so Jackson Morley is definitely in the hole. He's going to have to run some really quick laps, and I'm not sure even with that it's going to be enough to make up any time to get back up. It'll even challenge maybe Reese and Lehman for a position there. So he's got his work cut out for him here in the final 13 minutes of this race, as we still have Verone McConnell, Paul Jackson, Andrew Love yet to pit. Mikey Pollard still sitting there in P5, the kind of the virtual leader once the pit cycle's done, along with Williams, and then Case, and then Lasky and Nom falling back just a bit. Not really sure what's going on there. If they're maybe saving a little bit of fuel, I think Lasky's okay. I think he's actually was longer than everybody else. So I'm not really sure why he thinks he needs to save fuel. Could be just a miscalculation in his head, which happens to everybody at some point in time here in iRacing. And we get another replay here of Mario Ross. Looks very similar. Oh, that was carrying too much speed, and just too much speed, but enough that he got his left side tires over in the dirt, and that caused a little bit of a spin, a little more time, and not having the best day in the world, Mario.
Here are the pit stop times.
No, he's really not. Oh, we got our pit stop times up here. So if you look up on the left-hand corner of our screen there, you can see these are the stationary pit times. So this isn't the entire pit from beginning to end, but this is just going to be when they hit the box, how much time they take, and then when they leave that box. And we're looking, they're actually kind of all over the place a little bit. Jackson Morley, 20 seconds We got Mikey Pollard 14, 14, 13, 15.9 for Kane Lasky. So he's going to be fueled up on that one. Wouldn't worry about running out of fuel there, but those 13.9s, yeah, I might be a little worried about fuel on that one. You might be out there trying to save a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on Daniel Case and some of those lower fuel pit stop time drivers, as we're going to get a pass here for the lead from Jake R. Williams on Mikey Pollard. So still going back and forth here. Daniel Case just kind of watching Aero Nom floating around in the background as well there, perhaps fuel saving a little bit. Kane Lasky should be able to just put the gas down now, and I believe it was the 92 of Jackson Morley losing some positions, so we'll be looking at him as well to hopefully make up some of those positions that he may have lost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe Kane is in a position now as we get Verone into the pits, so our current leader, making his stop. It's going to give Michael McConnell a chance to lead a lap, so he's going to get his bonus point for that one lap led there, even though he only led about 200 meters. And then Paul Jackson coming through as well. And then you see the lead group now led by Jake Williams. I'm kind of wondering if Lasky may have been behind Nom as Nom started trying to fuel save, and Lasky just got caught out, and he just can't make the leapfrog from the group he's in to the group in front until they start doing a little more battling. So I think he's going to have to play the patient game and ride with Aero there until we're a little bit closer to the end. And I think he'll have enough fuel that he won't have to worry about saving, and he should be able to just clear Aero out and try and move up, and hopefully somebody up front starts fighting a little bit too hard, and he can make that gap up.
Yeah, that's what you'd be hoping there for sure. You want to, but nearing the end of the race, that's when things like that will hopefully, they will start happening for sure. You're going to see those steering racks tighten up a little bit, and the firewall get pressed a little bit harder, and people start passing and things like that start happening. You're able to maybe grab a position or two, but this line of cars was about 10 at one point, maybe even 12 cars nose to tail, and it looked like that wasn't going to end. And then of course we had it break up there with that early pit stop from Jake R. Williams and a bunch of people flooding in behind him as well, and that broke up the pack a little bit. And then from there, now we're just kind of shattered around a little bit. We've got a few packs out there driving together. This is our lead pack here up at the front, but no longer is there a giant snake of cars out there. So yeah, should be a little bit different here. You can see now that everybody has made their pit stop. Even a couple people have made two, unfortunately. Not something you want to see there at all. There's a couple drivers out of this race. Mario Ras, Leonardo Pinero, and Jorg Manny, of course, did not take the start. But up here at front, same old back and forth. They're going to be looking at each other here for about another 9 minutes or so, and probably another 5 minutes or so, and then it's going to start to get a little bit more froggy out there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're getting a look here at McConnell as he comes out of the pits. He's going to fall in behind Daniel Verone, Jackson Morley. You did see Paul Jackson make his stop as well. So everybody has pitted, and Paul Jackson off about 8 seconds behind McConnell. They came in about the same time. That's kind of interesting. So kind of looking, and maybe Paul Jackson just took a little bit too much time and maybe had a slow lap as well. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he got caught in some traffic on his way out of the pits, and that kind of held him up a bit. But we are back with the pit cycle completed. Mikey Pollard, your race leader, Jake Williams in second, Daniel Case in third. That is your top three, and they're together on the track. Kane Lasky about 4 seconds back, so that second group is starting to close the gap just a little bit. I think it's down about a half second. So I think Lasky's able to has been able to turn the wick up just a bit and start closing this group down as they're up there, and they're starting to looking for places to make passes, doing a little exploratory work here, trying to see where can I make a move, where can I make up time on the guy in front. And so we're starting to see a little bit of alternate lines through some of these corners, just seeing what works and what doesn't as we close off this race. And I think we're in for a bit of fireworks here with those three cars nose to tail like this.
I have YouTube open, and
yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah, we're just maybe perhaps having a maybe technical issue. I don't think that was on our end there. If we're getting in the chat here, maybe just reload the browser. It does look like everything's 1010 on our side here, so I believe sound is going out. But yeah, some good points you made there, Charles. You got to look for new lines out there. This is a pretty wide track, and there is a few different lines. Really only going to be one fastest line, but you have to look around. You can't be on exactly the same line as the driver in front of you. You never make a pass. As we're watching the 73 go around the outside here, J.R. Williams is going to facilitate that pass for now and allow it to happen. Not fight that one too hard. Exactly what you want to do here. Our greatest gainer today, Michael McConnell. He's a really consummate driver out there. He is always out there, always putting in good laps, always clean, and gains a lot of positions. Also very good in the rain there. So he's going to be taking second place so far in S2. Daniel Veron leading S2 at the moment. Antonio Reese leading the Masters position, 3 positions up. Antonio Reese killing it this season, doing very well, got lots of points. Maybe Jorg Manny will have something to say about that when he gets that load cell fixed up. But David Lehman also doing very well, just behind him, keeping him honest there for sure. So we actually have a race here for Masters. It ain't over yet. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as well.
Yeah, definitely have to keep an eye on that, as those guys are pretty tight, as well as Verona and McConnell. They're still, a half second or so between the cars. So we still have battles for class victories here today. With about 5.5 minutes left to go, and you see the 3 cars up front once again. Kind of Jake Williams there looking to the inside to see what he can do. Tucks it back in just before we get into the corner, just to see if he could get a little bit of a run. Wasn't able to do so, and it's you're just kind of looking as these cars are half of car width off from each other as they're going through these corners to see if they may pick up a little bit here and there. But so far, pretty standard fare. It looks like the pass is going to be down into turn 1 after that long straightaway, and then the battle is going to commence. If it doesn't get completed, then you're going to see side-by-side racing for a couple of corners as we're coming back down into the final corner. This last little run will be tucked back around and headed back up the front straight again with about 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes, so not too many laps left. Left now for sure. Well, back to the battle here with Antonio Reese. Looks like Lehman's actually gotten around him here. So the 919 around the 914 master driver. We have a race here between the Labatt's and I believe it's Mickey Onio now. He does like to change up his name. A bit of a frightening picture this time, to be honest. But it's he's having fun with Antonio Reese out there. Love his liveries on his car are just got to be some of the best liveries out there for sure. He's going to go side by side here into T1. So we have a battle for Masters. These guys have not given up quite yet, and we are in the wee hours now. This is the time that you want to start showing your nose, start showing whether or not you can make that pass happen. He's going to hold on to that one nice and solid here as David Lehman looking on from P2 in S2 at the moment. So still race going on there. Back up front here, Daniel Case having a look at J.R. Williams. Mikey Pollard now back into 3rd place. So we're still doing some shuffling around here. It's going to come down to kind of the lap and who can kind of get themselves in the right position for this back straightaway, I think, if you can get that pole. And that's what I'd be thinking about right now is how do I set myself up so that I'm in a position so that I can get a drag race down that back straightaway and beat that driver into T1. And that's what you'd be thinking if you were in S1, S2, or Masters right now. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one at the end here, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. And now as we're looking at the run down to turn 1 again for our lead group. A little bit of a change in the S2 is now Morley has kind of gotten himself between Verone and McConnell. I think he'll be able to clear that, let those guys race to the end. But definitely the S1 driver there of Morley just kind of in everybody's way for a time being. So I think he'll get down here, get this cleared in turn 1. McConnell's going to try and follow him down, and we'll see if he can get that squeezed in there. And I think he's going to get chopped off. So no, he's not going to be able to make that move. And Verone's going to hang on to the S2 lead there, running in 9th. And Morley's going to clear, but Morley's done a good job of just clearing other traffic and running forward. He has lost a little bit of time to that group just ahead of him, but still, nice job to just kind of recover after probably not the best attempt at trying to keep the race lead. Just kind of running it long when everybody is kind of undercut. As we're going to get, is it going to be 2 more to go when we get here? 2 to go at the line. So Case, Williams, and Pollard are top 3.
Yeah, Jackson really doing a great job here of making up some positions. Going to clear that S2 traffic. Got in their way a little bit for a second, and that's the way these weekend warrior races are. I know from experience where, you're in a battle with someone for position, maybe even for the win, and you'll get an S2 or a Masters driver, and you're just like, oh, please go away. I'm trying to win this race. And that's just unfortunately what you have to deal with. And you kind of just have to stop thinking about it and just do the best you can, as we're going to get a bit of a side-by-side battle here now between Jackson Morley and Daniel Veron. Daniel Veron trying to hold on to this S2 victory, while, of course, Jackson Morley here just trying to make up a position. And this is one of those scenarios, when you're thinking in your head, do I just let Jackson go so I can hold on to this? Because sometimes that's going to facilitate both of those cars getting by you when he does make that pass. If you try to fight it, you could get wide, you lose a bunch of time, and then you lose 3 positions instead of just 1. And I know personally in the SRF races, I have absolutely just let people by, so that didn't happen, and I continue my race. Final lap. Here we go. The number 2 of Daniel Case and Jake R. Williams going to fight this one out. Mikey Pollard just behind them, having a look at what is going on. He's definitely got a very good view of this race in front of him. I think maybe if I was the 73, this is where I would want to be right now. I want to watch these 2 guys in front of me and see if I can't get that double pass down that back straightaway that we've seen work a couple times now. Not going to be easy, though, with 2 cars in front of you. The likes of Jake R. Williams and Daniel Case are not going to let this happen super easy, are they, Charles? But we're about to get down this back straightaway here, and this is where it is all going to happen.
Yep. So here comes the final couple of corners as we get the run down the back straight. Not quite the straightest straightaway in the world, but these cars are running flat out. And so now it's going to be who's going to make a move, and we're going to get Daniel Case down to the inside. We're going to get Jake Williams on the outside as Jake powers through, and he was actually on the inside line there. And was able to get it cleared, and they're coming around the final corner. I think it's going to be Jake Williams, and it's going to be a battle for P2.
Oh, it's going to be a really close one in P2 here for sure. Jake R. Williams is going to make that one happen, and it looks like the 73, maybe. I have no idea. We're going to look at the board, and Daniel Case is going to take second in that one from Mikey Pollard right down to the line. David Lehman
got the win.
Going to win just by a nose on Antonio Rizzo. He's going to make that one stick as well in the 919. Some great racing from our Masters drivers. Daniel Veron now trying to hold on to that final place, or that first place, sorry, in S2, and he's going to do it as well. The 92 getting a good comeback drive there to put himself securely into 8th place, into the top 10. Pretty awesome race there at the end. A bit of a track day out there for most of the race, but turned into a bit of a podcast a couple times. But right down at the end there, we got some really great racing and some very close finishes. Look at that finish between Daniel Case and Mikey Pollard, down to 4,000th of a second here. We're going to get a quick replay of this S2 fight here. Daniel Veron on the white car, Michael McConnell in. Oh, and we're going to lose Jeff Webker, the sponsor of today's race, Masters driver. Going to get that one wrong here in the final corner in the 909. Pretty good job, though, to get 11th. And then he's going to hit with those cold tires that we talked about before. I don't know how many times that's happened to me, Charles, and I'm sure it's happened to you as well. You go off the road. All your brain wants to do, you have this emergency ping going on in your brain. Get back on the road, and step on the gas. And you do that, and then you end up backwards. And it happens a lot. It's really the time you kind of just need to calm down, keep the car straight, stay off the gas, and just kind of, see if you can't make it up. But pretty awesome race here at Portland International Raceway today for the Formula Ford Weekend Warriors. Jake R. Williams going to take this one. I believe that was a pretty commanding win there. Lots of back and forth between the top 5 drivers or so. But when it comes right down to the end, Jake R. Williams is going to take that one. Daniel Case doing very well in the FF today. Very well this season. I believe his first season here in FF started pretty strong, is now finishing very strong. So that's a big one. Mikey Pollard going to take 3rd place. Kane Lasky holding on there to 4th place. Here's our results for you here. So Jake R. Williams in the 59 is going to win today. Daniel Case going to take 2nd. Mikey Pollard in 3rd. Kane Lasky in 4th. Arrow Nom will take 5th. Our first driver winner in Masters is David Lehman on Antonio Reese. Great battle between those two. I bet you they are both sweating. So the Canadian going to take that one. So that's one for us here in Canada. Jackson Morley going to get that comeback drive from that that pit strategy that kind of didn't really work out for him there, unfortunately. Daniel Veron going to take the win in S2 in the 272. Michael McConnell just behind him, 10th place overall and second in S2. Jeff Wubker will take 11th. Paul Jackson in 12th. Edgar Sancinelli 13th. Andrew Love in 14th. We do actually have to thank Jeff Wubker for the sponsorship today. Can't do this without you. Thank you so much, Jeff, keeping the lights on around here. We love it, and hope you guys too. Jimmy Latback is going to be in 15th. Oliver Gard, new driver here in the Weekend Warriors, is going to finish a lap down, unfortunately, in 16th. Mario Rass having some troubles today. Looked like he was honestly out there kind of testing slip angle into that corner. I think this might be the first time he's been there. Mario Rass, usually a very fast driver. Today having a little bit of trouble, going to finish 12 laps down. Leonardo Pinero also finishing 29 laps down, and York Mani with a brake issue not starting today in 19th. But overall, Charles, I think that was a pretty good one here at Portland. That's my second visit here as a broadcaster. I did the ICS. I believe it was an IndyCar race around here that went very well. Pretty similar to this one. It was the chicane version, and I can say the chicane really does shake things up a little bit more when you don't have that front straight to continue drafting down. But yeah, I think overall, pretty awesome place. I'm looking forward to racing here myself one of these days. Yeah,
I think it's about the second or third time here as well. Yeah, really good race. This is the first time I've seen this configuration used, and but it's going to help. I think that probably was better for these cars. That first chicane is pretty terrible, just to be fair. It is a very difficult set of corners, and so yeah, this was a really good race. Obviously, you get two cars on the podium separated by 4 milliseconds. That's some nice driving. 4/10 for the top three is all that separates them, and then I think was 2/10 for less than 2/10 for Masters, and then 2/10 for Spec 2. For the winners. So it's really good battles all over the place, and has some good class battles as well. And I believe, if I'm looking at that correctly, we have our Masters Class P2 sitting over in the waiting room.
Always good to talk to Antonio.
Yeah. So I'll let you do the honors, Josh, if you want to talk to Antonio.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll grab him here.
Yep.
Antonio, quite the battle there in Masters. Almost came out with the win, but Lehman is going to pip you right at the end there. Some great driving, though, today from both of you out there. How'd you like Portland today?
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I just bought the truck, so I was not expecting to do anything good, but it did work. For some reason, I have like 2 hours practice maybe, and yeah, there is no way I could defend from David, because the draft on these cars is crazy, and then he just positioned himself in the right place and then to attack on the last few corners, and I tried to defend, but I didn't want to crash, so I just was very cautious on that, and then it's better a second place in Masters than the last.
Absolutely. There's some wise words from the Masters driver, Antonio Reese, for sure. Always better to finish the race with all 4 wheels on your wagon than make a dive and not finish or end up in last place. Always a clean driver out there, Antonio. Always fun to watch you back and forth. Pretty awesome race out there for sure. The track, a bit of a track day during the middle of it. And so when you're out there basically on a track like this, are you thinking pretty much middle of the race, I'm just going to kind of hold position here, see if I can kind of keep this momentum up, and then I'll make some attack at the end of the race? Is that what you're thinking, or are you just out there battling the whole time?
No, basically I lost the draft from the front guys on the pit when I pit, and then after that was just trying to keep an eye on the fuel, because I was pushing more without the draft, so the engine was roaring, but the fuel was okay, so there is no traffic behind, no traffic in front, so just me and David, all of us, we were all alone by ourselves.
I think that was a lot of drivers out there. So up at the front, we had a line of about 10 or 12 cars, then we had a pit, and it broke up, and then it ended up being about 5, and then at the end it ended up being about 3. So it was kind of the same thing there, broken up into packs, and everybody just kind of seemed to be biding their time till about the last 2 laps of the race there, and then they started really fighting each other. And I think that's kind of the way kind of the way it goes, on races like this, especially with such a high draft, like you're saying, right? The draft is so powerful that you want to just kind of keep that momentum up, allow those passes to happen, and really just keep your mind on the end of that
strategic,
race.
Very strategical kind of stuff.
Right, very much
like
so. So I believe
game.
actually we have it is like a chess game. Yeah, it's like a high-speed chess game with high risk out there for sure. But I believe next we're headed to VIR full in the week, or sorry, in the FF.
Oh, it's
That's
not
one
the
of my
full.
favorite
It's
tracks.
the
I
NASCAR.
absolutely
It's
love
the
that
NASCAR
track.
version. It's not the full version.
I think I'm talking about Formula Ford next week. Next week. So VIR. But up next, you're right. Actually,
VIR.
We should talk about that.
I like
more.
VIR.
It's more interesting. Me too. I really love VIR. But you know what's more interesting actually is what you bring up here is our SRF race next at the NASCAR West layout, I believe. And I've done a little bit of practice around there. And I can tell you that it is going to be a bit of a chaotic race today, I think, as far as where everybody and those track limits are going to go. The lines that I'm taking around there, I'm questioning as I take them every time I take them. So it's going to be a pretty interesting race up next there. What do you think that one's going to pan out?
No, I just bought the truck as well, so let's see how it plays out.
Okay, yeah.
There's
lots of track limits out there, so it's going to be interesting.
I have 2 hours practice, so I'm already aware. And I was watching some guys driving as well, so I'm a little bit aware, but I will be very cautious, driving very, slowly, keep safe, not doing anything stupid. Try to not kill anyone and survive.
Yeah, that's definitely it for sure. I did some laps as well. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. But right on, Antonio. It's good to talk to you. Always good driving today. Is there anybody you'd like to thank here before we let you go?
Yeah, for you guys on the booth on the show and for the sponsor today, and Steve Ray and all the admins, and as well for the Weekend Warriors community and all the YouTube viewers. All a big shout out to them all.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, great.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep, that's great, man. Good second place, 7th overall today.
Thank you.
We'll catch you next week at VIR, and I'll see you on track in a few minutes.
Yeah, all right. Take care as well, Jeff. Jeff, sorry. I was reading something.
That's okay.
Yeah, have a good one. And then we will see you probably on the end of the race or next week. Take care.
Yep, sounds good, man. Take care, Antonio.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Antonio Reese, second place in Masters class. And I believe we have Jeff Wubker next here, and he is the sponsor of today's race. Maybe I'll let you have a chat with him there, Charles.
Yeah, Jeff, welcome in. Once again, thank you very much for the sponsorship for today's race. Obviously, we can't do it without you and all the rest of the guys that sponsored. So 11th place finish today. So probably not the best day at the office here at Portland. So talk about your race a little bit.
Well, first, am I coming in all right?
Oh yeah, sounds great.
Yep, you're 5-5, man. Yep.
Okay, because I don't use Discord a whole lot. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. I figured I'd give back to the community and chalk one up for us here for a broadcast, and thankful for you guys. It's very entertaining. The community, Stevie Ray, the whole group of guys that race every week. Very clean racers. Really couldn't ask for more from my league. So I'm more than happy to support it today. As far as my race goes, I was battling there for I think it was 10th, 11th, 12th, and I was in 13th behind Michael McConnell, and dropped it into first gear going into that first high-speed right-hander there somehow.
Oh no!
And totally wheel locked her, and thankfully I didn't lose a position from that. It got back on the track, and you know how it is when you lock up your tires, you get back on the track, and it's like going on ice. The car spun around again, and I looked at my relative, and I was like, holy cow. I'm surprised I didn't lose a position there, but would have liked to have finished that battle with Verone and McConnell there. That was really fun. And the draft, I'm telling you, is important. I mean, you were picking up on that front stretch about 5/10, 6/10 even. Yeah. it was a fun track because you could, pass going into turn one. And I seen those guys, Verone and forget the other fella's name offhand, but they were going into that chicane side by side, and I was tailing behind McConnell watching that, like, oh my God. That was some gutsy passing there, but everybody kept it clean.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very clean race. Obviously, I think this track supports that because it is pretty wide open, and you got lots of runoff pretty much everywhere on the track. So it does make things a little bit easier when you got some good open corners. You can just carry momentum through. So Jeff, next week I think we're headed to VIR. So what are your thoughts about that? Obviously, we're there quite frequently with one of the cars in the Weekend Warrior Series. It seems like we're at VR at least once a season. So next week is the Formula Ford's turn.
Well, yeah, I should be there. I can't say VIR is one of my favorite tracks. It's almost like an English course. The Brands Hatches and all that. They like their hills out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not a big fan of hill racing, but I'm from Wisconsin originally, and I love Road America. I mean, that's real hilly, but it's real gradual, But nonetheless, if I finish top 10, top 12, I'm really happy. Last week I would have had a top 10, but I fired my crew chief because he shorted me on gas, and I had to pit twice last week, and I lost. Yeah, I lost out on top 10 finish last week, but
Bummer.
Yeah, he's looking for a job. He's walking around in the pit.
Mine is too.
Are you racing? Are you racing the next one?
Yeah, I'll be in SRF next. We were actually talking to Antonio Reese about the track limits and just how gnarly this next race could potentially be. I know I'm taking track limits there and questioning every time I do it. This just doesn't feel right at all to enter a corner from the other side of the curb. But should be an interesting one. Are you going to be out there too?
Well, as well as I do, Texas is a very slick track, and the SRF don't exactly have a lot of grip, so that combination is going to be quite impactful. Yeah,
the tires burn off badly around there. I was having trouble in practice keeping my tires under me. After about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 laps, they're just heating up, and I'm losing my rear end, and it's going to be a tough one today.
Yeah, that track eats up tires. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe they programmed it in for that Texas heat or something, but I might.
Yeah, they must have chew them up.
I might hop in there and maybe give it a whirl.
You should. It's going to be chaos, so I mean, you might be able to pick something up today.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see you in there.
Sounds good, Jeff. Really, really thank you again. Just to kind of parrot Charles here, and then I'll hand you back over to him. Thank you so much for the race sponsor today. It's awesome to keep the lights on around here. We love doing this every week, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, I heard you're the founder of the the broadcast. So congratulations.
I own the place, not founder. It's actually Adam Thompson was founder of SMB, but I've taken over in the last year or so and kind of changed things around. But
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, the graphics you guys have is really spectacular. I've seen some others out there. It looks like a cartoon or something, but yours is really good.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
Well, we'll see you guys, okay?
All right, Jeff, thank you very
have
much
a good one. Good talk to you.
Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too also. You guys also. Thank you. Bye.
That was Jeff Wubker, our sponsor for today. And so thanks for stopping in. And Josh, I think we're done for round one here today. So SRF's coming up in about an hour's time.
Yeah, SRF's up next. Going to be a pretty chaotic one there. And then, of course, American Muscle Series on Tuesday. We have our F4s as well coming on Tuesday at Fuji, F3s at Algarve on Wednesday. And then we're back on the Formula Vs at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Should be a pretty interesting one there. And we have some special events and stuff coming up as well soon that we'll get to shortly. But what an amazing race here today at Portland. Bit of a track day in the middle, but some really good battles near the end of the race there. So I guess that will wrap it up here. On behalf of myself, Josh Wilkie, Guido Marzucci, and Charles Boshell, We will catch you next week, and we'll catch you on the SRFs next. It's going to be a crazy one. Make sure you tune in for that one.